I wish I knew.
Welcome back to My Husband is My Best Friend.
Christian Gold responds to his ex-wife allegations.
You live yet? Yup. Do your mom know what's going on? What's good, people? What's goody? What's goody? I'm gonna get started in a second. Because I want everyone to hear this. I'm gonna allow everybody to get on the live. You can share it with your friends, your cousins, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you want to share it with. But it's time for me to address, because I don't do all the social media back and forth. I am an adult and I don't do kid games. But I don't even go live on here. I mostly go live on my YouTube. But it's time for me to address some things, because there's been some things on the internet, and most recently, what you guys probably saw on the blogs, it's a situation going on with me and the mother of my kids. So with that being said, it's time for me to speak up. So like I said, share this live. I'm gonna get right into it in like 2 minutes. For all the supporters, listen, we rock with y'all. For all the haters, we rock with y'all too. One thing I won't tolerate is inappropriate comments. I guess I can say the haters are going to hate, but the inappropriate comments, you will be blocked from this live very quick, with a quickness.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, it's definitely hater behavior, because to be completely honest, I actually want to be on child support so we can stop the back and forth. So, yeah. My issue too is I just posted a video on my stories last week about a mom. She had her son's father over. Maybe it was the daughter. I don't know. Daughter or son. The father was over. And I'm not saying that we got to be best friends, but it was just a maturity in the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, things didn't work out, but just because things didn't work out doesn't mean that you try to harm the lives, harm my life, or talk bad about the father of your children. To all the people that see what the blogs put out, they only put out certain things. But now I'm here to tell you the true story. And also, I will be filming on our YouTube, and I will be posting all of the receipts, right? Because receipts come on both sides. So there is currently no child support order. There's no child support order. I've been waiting on a child support order so we can continue to do things as the court puts in place. Because once the court puts it in place, neither one of us want to back out of that, because there then becomes legal consequences, right? Neither one of us want that. Damn sure not me, because I've dealt with enough legal consequences in my past. Somebody said, let's see your shirt. It's my wife on my shirt.
That's gonna make him even more mad.
It's my wife on my shirt, actually. Valentine's Day gift. Sis, what's good? Chantel, what's good? Welcome to the live.
Chantel. Better hope your mom don't pop up on there.
Also, it was posted on the blogs by Evelyn that I skipped court twice. I've been to court multiple times in regarding child support, right? I've been to court, right? I also went to court for abandonment charge, because she claimed that there was abandonment, okay? You cannot get locked up for abandonment if there is no child support order. So everyone on this live, I want you to understand something. What you see on the internet is all fabricated, right? It could be true. Some of it could be true, but it's not the full thing. It's not the full spruce of everything, right? They show you what they want to show you so they can create drama, right? And I don't come on this thing and speak like that. You see my feed, I post positivity, I inspire. That's what I've been doing, right? Now, let's get into the nitty gritty. We got almost 200 people on here. Let's get into the nitty gritty. So in 2020, 2020, my children's mother, my daughter and my son, we start dating. Really more so toward the end of 2019, right before the pandemic, we start dating. Things were good, of course. Things are always good at first in most relationships. Sometimes they don't stay that way, and I'm not saying everything should be perfect, but things were great. And of course, the relationship, it took its toll. I don't know what postpartum feels like. I'm not here to talk bad on my children's mother because I don't know what postpartum feels like. I don't know what women have to deal with internally when it comes to hormones. I don't know, right? I can only be there to support, right? But also having to navigate my own life, right? My own life traumas and my own life experiences. I was showing up for myself, but also trying to show up for my kid's mother as well. That turned out to be toxic. There was a lot of insecurities involved, of course, with her thinking I'm dealing with other women when I really wasn't. I was really just a stay-at-home dad, living a private life. And that's all I cared about, was just being home, running my business, and making sure my kids were taken care of. That got toxic to the point where I wasn't going to bring this up, but I was actually physically abused, and I could have pressed charges. See, this is the thing that men don't come out and talk about. We're told to shut the fuck up, right? And not talk about it. But I was actually physically abused, which I actually have on video, right? Because here's the thing about domestic disputes, whether it's the male or the female. Typically, if the male is causing some type of force or inflicting any type of physical suffering or injury on a woman or a female, the cops get called. No matter if you have bruises, marks, whatever, the man gets locked up. He gets put into custody. I could have been that person and said, you know what? This is physical assault. I could call the police and get you locked up. But no, I didn't do that because at the end of the day, I don't wish it on anybody. And number two, I would not do that to the mother of my kids. So what I did was I said, you know what? I'm going to leave. It took everything in me. I'm going to be completely transparent. It took everything in me not to go off. But I said, you know what? I'm going to leave. And even before that transpired, we were already in a place of like, this is just not going to work out. Yes, we can coexist. We can stay in the same place, whatever. But I'm going to be in and out. You do you. I'm going to make sure I come back. I spend time with my children. At that time, they were super, super young. My daughter was only 2 months old when this situation occurred. My son was 1 year old, right? So I'm at the point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to leave, whatever. Come in and out, come in and out. And that resulted in me moving on, right? Things get toxic, but guess what? People move on. It doesn't mean that you hold me by a carrot or you hold me by a string and say, okay, since you wanted to leave, because on the video that surfaced online just a few minutes ago, it said that I got up and I just left. That's actually not the truth. I never just got up and left. Actually, I tried to work it out. I try to work things out because I never wanted my children to have a broken household. No one wants that, right? But I'm not the only person on this live going through this. There's other fathers. There's also mothers too. This is not just a one-sided thing where it's, oh, woe is me. I don't come out and talk about this. I never do. I don't even go live. I barely even talk on my Instagram, right? But this is time where I have to break silence because I'm sick and tired of these stupid ass blogs coming up with these narratives, right? And making the thing one-sided, right? So I said, okay, I'm not going to be labeled as a because I'm not. Did my children receive support financially? Most definitely. Was her rent paid? Most definitely. Were her bills paid? Most definitely. Because I have documentation, I have receipts as well. Have they spent time over here with me and Jennifer? Most definitely. Has Jennifer ever got to communicate with them? Most definitely. So the biggest thing for me is you go online, you bring social media into this. When all in all, at the end of the day, everyone has their own problems anyway. Social media doesn't care about social media does not care about what you have going on in your household at all. They're going to comment, they're going to give their opinion, and then guess what? You're still going to have to deal with it. Has court been continued every 30 days? Yes, it has. I get a notice in the mail or via email from the Attorney General that's with Department of Human Services or whatever it is. I get an email every 30 to 60 days saying, hey, it's been extended. You know why it's being extended? Because I sent over my financial documents, which I'm supposed to do, because what they do with the child support case is they develop something called a spreadsheet or a worksheet, right? Something called a worksheet. And from there, they get the father's income and they also get the mother's income. All right. The father's income, the mother's income. I sent my income. It took my children's mother months for the income to be sent. It was never sent just until recently, actually. Right. So now I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, now maybe this train can get moving. Maybe we can get something going, right? Because once we get this on paper, once we get this documented, a judge signs off on it, the amount is set, the amount is set. Now, unfortunately, the county that I reside in, that does not tie into visitation. So what I did as a father, complete transparency, I know that they're my children, right? But I did a paternity test. I did a DNA test because I wanted that to be documented, right? And I wanted it to be in the court system. So once child support order is set, then we can move forward with the legitimization side and saying, hey, this is visitation, whether you get them every other weekend, you get them every other month, however it is, however it works out. But the stigma online is you don't see your kids, or you haven't sent me a dime. When record and documentation shows that I was sending you at the time, over $2,000 a month for that, at that time, a 3 and a 2-year-old. They're not in school. You're a stay-at-home mom. Over $2,000 a month. And still, can I see the kids? It becomes a thing of, oh yeah, most definitely. You can come get them. You guys can spend time with them. It becomes something like it's like playing tug of war, because one week you're good and then the next week your hormones are all over the place, and then now, oh, you can't see them. Fathers deal with this all the time with single moms because they're bitter. And the bitterness did not start until I got married, right? Because even before Jennifer and I got married, we were trying to work it out. We said we were going to meet up and we were going to establish a written agreement, because when you have a written agreement outside the court, you could go through mediation, you can have a written agreement, you can have an attorney deal with it, you can get it signed off, get it notarized. And guess what? That is the agreement. The father agrees to pay this and see them on this day. And the mother has her side of the agreement as well. We went back and forth for months about this agreement. Okay, I landed back in town from a trip. Are we going to meet up face to face so we can come up with this agreement? Because I'm tired of this back and forth. We're not going to do this back and forth no more. Let's get something set in stone and let's stick to the agreement. For the betterment of the children. This is not about us anymore. This is about them. And it's sad because we can't co-parent for the health of them. Because at the end of the day, no matter how young a kid is, they see this. They feel this more than anything. And then they grow into yet another trauma. Somebody said you should have wrapped this up before getting married. Do you not understand how many times I try to wrap this up well before even proposing? Forget getting married. Well, and here's the thing, which you have to understand, we had an agreement, but was it written and notarized? No, it wasn't.
Thanks for tuning in to My Husband is My Best Friend.